he makes like the greatest games ever. They're good for what they are.
I will say Death Stranding had like a couple of things, like a background plots to it that I thought were fucking badass. Like the time rain, I thought that was fucking dope. And I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. And then
cool
like
gameplay mechanic.
Yeah, having like the invisible enemies like the BTs. I thought that was kind of cool. And like if you like breathe too hard or like you do too much, they'll like start searching for you and shit. I thought that was kind of cool. And then like also adding in the concept that whenever someone dies, I don't know if they should go like full nuclear. I mean, sure, they'll like explode and like maybe like a couple dozen kilos worth of explosive. Yeah, I mean, there must not be many people left, or at least they must be once they die, that must be very controlled. Can you imagine like in today's day and age, it's like someone died, we have like an hour to incinerate their body, or they become a nuclear explosion.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
That's what I feel like. And if we did do that, we would be able to harness that energy somehow. We'd be like, oh, someone died. Fire up the reactors. Get ready. Be able to harness that energy and, I guess what? Produce electricity?
That's basically what that would be. It'd be like a free source of massive energy if there was a way to contain it.
Yeah, contain the explosion, pass in some water, create steam, pass it through a turbine. Boom. Unlimited energy.
There you go.
All right.
I think that's so stupid. Sorry.
I think I fixed everything.
You just started? Alright. I think it's so weird that we built nuclear reactors, these gigantic nuclear reactors that, do all this crazy shit just to pass water through it to create steam so that it pushes a turbine.
Right.
Alright, yeah, I'm done. That was it.
We'll give it a minute, see if Wild shows up.
Alright. Don't you think that's wild? Someone's like, what are you working over there? And we're working with some radioactive isotopes and trying to do this, that, and that. And, you get too close, you get radiation poisoning, blah, blah, blah. How big is it? It's as big as a building. And you're like, oh, shit, that's some crazy, like, super sick science. And you're like, yeah, man, what do you plan to do with it? I'm just going to pass water through it and create steam.
Why not?
Like the nuclear reactor doesn't make power. It takes power for it to just turn on and just run really hot. And because it runs so hot, someone's like, oh, we need to pass water through this. They start passing water through it and like, oh, creating steam. All right, cool. Let's just use that to push a turbine and create energy.
So what you're saying is nuclear generators are just giant steam engines?
Yeah, man, doesn't that seem counterproductive in a way?
I don't know. I'm not really an expert on that. I couldn't tell you.
Been thinking about it more and more. Like I watched the HBO series Chernobyl a couple weeks ago. Fuck, it was good. That was a good fucking show.
What is that stream on?
It's on HBO.
No, I don't have that.
Max. I mean, you might be able to find it somewhere. It's not long. It's only like 5 episodes, and they're about an hour each.
Really? Only 5?
They were really good, and they like went into like some good detail about like what was going on and what was happening. Just like through the storytelling and stuff. And like you're watching some of these people, and you're like, I think it's because of this incident that happened that your average human has a better understanding of what a nuclear reactor is, radiation, radiation poisoning, and things like that. Things becoming radioactive or whatever, blah, blah, blah. We have a better understanding because of this incident. But like you're watching that and you're just like, wow, y'all are so fucking stupid. Like, how the fuck did you like let that happen?
Right.
I mean, understanding like they were doing a test and like when they blew up the reactor or whatever, blah blah blah. But then like after the reactor blew up, and you just think they become like the dumbest people. And it was just like the dude that was like in charge of the facility at the time. He was just like, "No, nothing's wrong. We're perfectly fine." And so he had
that's the thing.
people
Most nuclear reactors, they don't go down because of something went wrong. They go down because of poor maintenance.
Yeah, and they were under the belief that like the nuclear reactor itself could not physically explode. Like they like literally thought it was like against the laws of nature and science and physics for like the reactor to actually explode itself. So like he had like tons of people, like multiple people come up to him like, "Yo, I watched the reactor just explode. I saw it with my own eyes. It blew up. I can see the reactor is exposed. This shit's fucked." And he looked them dead in the eyes and was like, "You're in shock. You're senile. You don't know what you saw. That's not right. You're delusional." And they just kept it moving. And then another person came up and told him, he's just like, "No, that can't happen. You're delusional." Whatever. He had people like start dying in front of him, like from radiation poisoning. They had radiation burns like all over him. He's just like, no, it can't happen. No, we're good. Everyone is fine. Someone bring me my lunch.
Yeah, people were like that. No, they're still like that.
People haven't changed.
Not much.
Oh, I mean, dude was under a lot of pressure, and he really wanted that promotion, but even so, just to be like that dumb and like kind of like out of it.
Right.
Fucking wild, man. What's he doing?
Oh.
Cool story, bud. I gotta know what happened like the other week when I was gonna miss, and then Wild said like,
Oh,
so I was like, "Oh look, there's no show." I was trying to watch the show. What happened? And Wild was like, "We don't talk about it." He's like, "We don't talk about Bruno." And I was just like,
All right. So what had happened was somebody in India tried to log into my Facebook, and I had to change my Facebook password. And when I changed my Facebook password, apparently that is my primary login for my OBS. And because I changed my password, it tried to disconnect itself from it, and it wouldn't let me stream with it.
that makes sense.
I sat here for like 6 hours last night trying to fix it.
oh damn.
Did you not just like log out of OBS and then just log back in with the new credentials?
It wouldn't let me.
Oh, well, that's dumb.
Yeah. All right. Are you saying screw it and just going? Y'all ready?
Is there an updated topics list, or is this it?
We're just gonna run with the one from last week.
All right.
I added in one more topic, but yeah. All right. Now I got me a lovely headache. Good deal. All right. Screw it. And here we go. Or not.
False alarm.
Oh, well, we're live, but it's black screened. All right, hold on, we'll fix this.
Great times.
Why is this? I just had this fixed last night. What the hell? There it goes. All right. And it's being funky. All right. Good enough. All right, we're running. Welcome, everybody, for the Griffcast episode. What are we on? 139, the Mature Nerdy Podcast for Immature People, the show where we talk about any and all things nerds, video games, comic books, movies, computer technology, and/or science. I am your host, King Nick Griffmore. Welcome to the show. Oh, we have had a rough couple of weeks here, so we'll try to hash it out real quick. Sorry for those who were trying to catch the last episode. I had some technical difficulties, but they should be worked out. All right. My FCD was driving me nuts there. That's still bad, but hey. All right. We're gonna do a little bit of catch up here. We're gonna go over some topics from the last episode. Not really a lot has happened since then. I mean, we'll go over some of the stuff that's in our news channel. Like the Starship Troopers thing, that's pretty awesome. Or is it?
Not sure that I know.
What's that?
So I'm not sure that I know. I haven't heard about it.
We'll go over it. So while waiting for the next patch of PoE, I've been almost exclusively playing Monster Hunter, which has been fantastic.
Monster Hunter Wilds?
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta specify, man. There's multiple Monster Hunters.
Well, the newest one. I've never been a Monster Hunter fan, and this one has been... I mean, I played a little bit of World. But yeah, no, Wilds is above and beyond anything. Like, it's Game of the Year potential for me.
That's high praise.
Okay. I mean, I've only heard good things about it too. I have a couple. Everybody that plays it a lot.
It sold a lot of copies.
Yeah. It's. I was actually just looking at its all-time peak was 1.3 million on Steam, which is not bad.
It was much higher than that. I know globally, in the first 3 days, it sold 10 million copies.
Well, yeah, I was just talking about.
Yeah, you're just talking about
players.
Yeah,
Which
players on Steam.
I don't think that's a fair assessment anymore because
it's really not.
Because
yeah, it's really more about who and how many's playing.
Yeah. Then also, it's also about how many's playing at one time. Its peak might have been 1.4 million, which is still a lot. But then, there's other people trying to skew the metrics, like Ubisoft's trying to skew the metrics on total players on Steam. They're like, we have 2 million players on Steam. It's like, never in your history have you had 2 million concurrent players.
When did they say that? You're saying that about Shadows? They didn't say about that Shadows recently.
Yeah, they did. They did.
They just
said
said
it
they
yesterday.
sold that many. They said they sold that million copies.
They said they had 2 million players on Steam.
So that means 2 million people could have bought it. That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
They had 2 million sales on Steam.
Maybe. I don't know. The way they phrased it as concurrent players.
Well, that's obviously not true.
Yeah.
And I hope they would not be that dumb.
Yeah, especially since like the game's borderline banned in one of the highest gaming countries in the world.
Where is it banned?
Japan.
Is it banned in Japan? Japan did it ban it. They banned it.
The prime minister came out and denounced the game.
Denouncing is not banning.
No, it's not banning, but it's still. He was rather upset
it doesn't
about
look
it.
good. Yeah.
Like when
if you bought it, would you be like taken to like an internment camp?
I don't know about that. Japan has a bad history with those.
U.S. does too.
Every country does, but
Pretty common occurrence.
I don't know. I mean, actually, no, I'm not even gonna try to go there. I was gonna like throw out some random country, but you never fucking know.
you never know.
You never fucking know.
You don't.
We're now turning into a history channel. But no, overall, it's been fantastic. I've been mostly playing solo. I've hit hunter level 60. I think the cap was 100.
Mm-hmm. Have you beat the? I guess like because there's a main story that comes with it, right? Like campaign. Yeah. Okay, you beat that.
The game starts after the credits.
Who wants to buy a game like that? You talking about like I gotta play the game before I can play the game?
Basically, yeah. You know what's funny though is that up to that point, it's still a great game.
Yeah.
And it's no hold bars either, because it's like, hey, would you like to enter into this dialogue? Okay, you enter into the dialogue, and then boss fight, and then you finish that next dialogue because of the boss fight, and you're in another boss fight. And it just chains you along like that for the entirety of the main campaign.
Okay.
And the main campaign sets you up to run the end game. It gives you like all the know-how. All the characters are likable. There's no preaching at you. There's no.
I heard Gemma and Becca. Is Becca her name?
Gemma.
Gemma. There's another one too. Is people say it's very likable.
Gemma. That's all there is.
Not
Gemma.
Not the blacksmith. There's another one. Then she apparently has glasses or something.
Your handler. I don't even remember her name.
Oh, she can handle something.
What was her name? Oh, let's go drive me nuts now.
It don't matter. People who know who I'm talking about know who I'm talking about.
I know who you're talking about. She's your handler. She's the one who she's your quest giver. She's the one that handles all your hunts when you're going out there. Yeah, your handler. Shears your tent and everything. Yeah.
So what is the in-game like? So is there a lot of in-game? Because I saw the meme, I saw something like people were like, "Oh, I put 100 hours into Monster Hunter in the first week. How come they didn't add any content? There's no content in the game."
They're out of their damn mind. That's all the game is content.
I mean, when you look at it, every game, all it is content.
I mean, technically.
It's not Pisky.
I mean, I have not spent 20 hours just standing at the blacksmith forging stuff, but it
takes you that long? Sorry.
Well, I have several armor sets, but It's pretty bad when they make a character that's so likable that Capcom's like the developer of the game. They're like, we knew you would like this character. We just didn't think you would like it that much. Like, Gemma has been Rule 34'd more than a Disney princess.
How do you know those numbers? How do you have any comparison to that? What are we talking about here? What do you do in your
I
free
don't want to
time?
talk about my personal life on here.
I'm pretty sure this show is called the Griffcast. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we can just talk about Griff.
Oh, but it's good. Like, overall, the game is good. The gameplay's solid. The hunts are great. One of the things that people complain about, that if you know what you're looking for, doesn't really matter, is that the monsters don't have a health bar. But if you actually pay attention to the monster behavior, it dictates, you can tell where their health is at, roughly.
Right.
I don't know. It's been a lot of fun. I've been thoroughly enjoying it. I'm just waiting for the next patch for PoE, which should be in 2 weeks. Or PoE 2, I should say. Alright, let's see. Moving on. We have Kathleen Kennedy doing the Hokey Pokey, spreading rumors that she's leaving and then saying that she's not leaving. But at the same time, still trying to find somebody to replace her, but saying she's not leaving.
I feel like we talked about this last week or a couple weeks ago.
We did.
Definitely talked about
It's
this.
been well, we talked about it in Discord. We didn't talk about it on stream.
Are you sure?
Yeah. We brought up that she talked about the rumors were going around that she was leaving, and then she did an interview that she's openly said she's not leaving. Which is why I'm calling it the Hokey Pokey. She's in, she's out, she's in, she's out, she's in, she's out. Yeah. So we had to deal with her for a little bit longer. She's getting final say on the Mandalorian movie. Filoni is writing and directing it, but she gets final say.
I mean, how delusional can you be, like, when you're like in charge of this franchise and everyone's saying, even some of the most loyal fans, yourself included, is just like just preaching and just saying, hey woman, you are running this shit into the fucking ground and it needs to stop. And then the rumors come out and they're like, oh, she's retiring, and everyone fucking rejoices and starts, celebrating. It's the fucking, after the battle of what's it called, and they're on fucking Naboo, it's over. Oh! And then she's just like, you know what? Actually, I'm not going anywhere. And I was just...
I like how you went with a Naboo reference and not an Ewok on Endor reference.
Yeah, I couldn't find the name. Thank you, Endor. That's what I was trying to refer to the first time. But
The Battle of Yavin with all the Ewoks.
Battle of Yavin.
Yeah, so we have to deal with more of bad Star Wars for a few more years. But now there's rumor that Bob Iger's looking to sell Star Wars.
Okay, cool.
Which,
I mean, it's still probably worth so much money. So much fucking money. Just because of the merchandising. Just the merchandising alone.
well, see, that's the thing. That's Star Wars has always been a merchandising profit company. But they cannot sell merchandise for anything new Star Wars.
He says as he has a gigantic stormtrooper just over his
Notice
head.
how that's a classical stormtrooper?
Well played, sir. All right.
Yeah. And up there's a Vader, and over there is an Imperial pilot that you can't see because he wears all black and it's a black wall. But yeah.
Well, they can't sell any of what's the word I'm looking for? Any of the sequel merchandise, but I mean, I'm sure the prequels and the OG trilogy is probably still selling pretty well.
Oh yeah.
As it should.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Oh, dude, whatever happened with the hotel that they had? Sorry, go ahead.
People stopped going because they were charging like $5,000 a night per person.
Nuts. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Didn't it close? I feel like it closed.
I don't know if it closed or not, but I know they were talking about closing a lot of aspects of that side of the park.
And then if they sell off Star Wars, they're going to have to demolish that entire park. Oof.
But if nobody's going to it, then why do you care? Like, as a company, why do you care if nobody's going to it? If you got to shut it down.
Because that's a lot of money that you spent building on that infrastructure.
Yeah, I mean, what is it? What's the park in Orlando?
Orlando Studios?
Yeah.
Universal Studios?
Universal.
Yeah.
I mean, it said when their Harry Potter area is outdoing Star Wars.
Interesting.
Food for thought.
Yeah, I imagine. God, man, isn't that people just despise J.K. Rowling so much that they really want to stop supporting her, and yet she's still doing better than Star Wars.
Yeah. Like, people openly hate J.K. Rowling, but people do not want to even interact with Kevin Kennedy. Moving on. Apparently, Nvidia is having more problems, and they have had a couple of recalls where their new cards catching fire again.
Yeah, I mean, this seems to be different from people actually just stupidly, or mistakenly, not connecting the power adapters correctly, but actually catching fire. Oh, dude, man, these cards are so dumb expensive too.
Yeah. Yeah. Whereas the new AMD cards are like 800, these are 2,500.
Yeah,
if not more.
I mean, there is a significant difference in performance when you're comparing. Yeah. You're talking about the $800 cards versus the $2,500 cards. Yeah, there's a significant. But like, if you're looking at the same performance tier, then the AMD cards are slightly cheaper and seem to be doing better. AMD seem to be holding it down. I don't know if AMD is going to release a card that's
so their 9000 series that they just released is basically just an upgraded version of their 6000 series or the 7000 series.
I think it's the 7000 series. I think they skipped 8.
Yeah, and that's all it is. It's just an upgraded version of that with better AI controllers, better RAM. That's all it is. More cores. They're not new next gen cards like the 5090?
Yeah. I wasn't. Is it a new? It is a new architecture. Yeah. Oh.
But yeah,
I was following the launch a little bit, just to see like how it is like for availability. Dude, scalpers themselves cannot even get their hands on these 5000 series cards.
Yeah, it's pretty bad when the scalpers themselves can't get their hands on it.
Yeah, I think the only people that are actually getting them are like going to the brick and mortar stores at Micro Centers.
Yep.
Some people were waiting in that line for I wanted to say 5 days. They got in the line 5 days early. Oh, that's right. I saw that all of the U.S., all the Micro Centers, all of the places that were selling the 5090s, they got less than 300.
Yeah.
Less than 300 nationwide. Which is
they did.
Dumb. And I don't think many other countries
got they released
any
1,500 worldwide? Something like that?
Dude, if that many.
Yeah.
If that many. They probably had to release less than that. Silly numbers.
Yep. To which AMD's like, hold my beer, and they release so many that not even scalpers can keep up.
Yeah, I mean they're still flying off the shelves, in the digital carts. I mean, you can't get your hands on them, but they are still in healthy supply.
Then they contract for their contracts are better than Nvidia's for third party manufacturers. Is what it is. Like, if you want to spend $3,000 on a graphics card that is better and you have the equity, go for it. It's all you. If you want a card that's going to be solid and affordable and more than enough for most anything that's coming out these days, go in Nvidia or AMD.
I don't know about that, man. 'Cause developers getting kind of lazy. They're just like, let the AI upscale and do all the work.
Yeah, they 100% are. I've seen a lot of comparison videos of games from 12 years ago versus today, and we have not seen a graphics upgrade in over a decade.
I think we've seen an upgrade in texture, but like not much else.
Yeah, like
it's not been much.
there was a guy who did a side-by-side comparison of The Witcher 3, which came out 15 years ago. And he held it up against Forspoken, which came out last year. And
that's not fair.
Yeah,
it should be more than fair.
fair.
It should be more than fair. It should be more.
Forspoken was not a very well received game.
No,
It was not.
we'll have to
It
wait for
was
Witcher
terrible.
4 to actually, see what it's supposed to be like. Monster Hunter Wilds is graphically, and it's got its own graphic integrity that's fantastic. It's got that classical Capcom graininess to it, or that Japanese graininess to it, but it's
Ooh, that's nationalist. Okay, calm down.
is it if it's true?
Yes.
I mean,
Keep going before you get yourself banned.
I mean, if we haven't yet,
In trouble.
we're half an hour in, we're good. Yeah, but yeah, so it still looks fantastic. I don't know. The classic Capcom graininess works really well with that franchise. I've seen a couple of mods to upscale it a bit, and I thought about installing it because I could play it at like 200 FPS on PC. I had a little bit of issues with it on PC at first, but those have died down a lot. Because it was a game designed for console that they ported to PC, so the port didn't go very well.
Sony doing
A lot
Sony
of
thing.
times that's usually how it goes.
Yeah. WB has shut down its gaming division. But they got dirty about it first. So we're not getting any more Arkham games unless they're contracted. We're not getting the Wonder Woman game. It's done. We're not getting any more Lord of the Rings games.
Wait! I thought there was a new Arkham game in development, and I'm not talking about the stupid VR one. I thought there was like another.
If it
Arkham
was in
style
development,
Batman game.
if it was being developed by WB, it got trashed. If it was being developed by a third party, there is a chance that it might still come out.
Well, I mean, it was developed by WB, but also it was Rocksteady. Was Rocksteady owned by WB, or they just partnered?
They were just partnered probably for this.
So I mean, the game still might have a chance. Dude, WB actually put out some fucking banging games. They actually did. They put out some fucking banging games.
Yeah, and the Wonder Woman game is done and gone. Like, it's not coming out
I
now.
don't think anyone cared about that. We didn't really care about that. You know what? I'm letting my feelings of the movies clouded my judgment of the game. So that's not fair. I'm sorry.
I think they went more comic accurate with the character design in the game, from what I've seen.
I mean,
that's what
you have that freedom. You have that, suspension of disbelief or whatever. You can be more comic accurate with stuff like that.
But here's what they did, and it was dirty to do, is the Nemesis system from the Shadow games, Shadow of War, Shadow of Mordor.
Yeah.
They patented it prior to shutting down.
Yeah.
So nobody else can use that system.
Didn't they already have it patented, but they put it like behind like a copyright or something for like until like 2050?
Yeah.
2050. Dude, that's such a fucking dope ass system. That shit was sweet. I was getting ready to play the Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War games again, just so I could experience the Nemesis system again. Just like, now that I'm older and wiser and just.
So those of you who watch this later and don't know what we're talking about, the Nemesis system was a system developed specifically for the Shadow of Mordor and the Shadow of War games, set in the Lord of the Rings universe. And the system was, if an enemy killed you or you killed or injured an enemy, they would remember you. And every enemy had a dialogue option, and that would appear when they saw you. And the enemies that killed you or other enemies or however would rank up, and they can get bigger and stronger as time goes on, and they will always remember you as a nemesis, hence the nemesis.
I do remember that. After you explained it, you could do that. Like if you went up to captains, like you could either kill a captain and then his spot would become vacant, and then if it's just like a normal ad killed you, he would get promoted to captain, and he would remember you and be like, "Oh, I've already killed you before, dude. I'm gonna fucking destroy you again." Or you could either kill them, or what was it, you just push your hand in? What do they call that? Like brandish, or
I forgot what it was, but you would basically recruit them.
No, you could recruit them, and then you could also make them go fucking insane. I remember I did this to a guy. I kept getting a hold of him, and I never executed him, and I never recruited him. I just kept making him go fucking insane, and I just made him go insane over and over and over again, and he was losing his fucking mind. He was super fucking paranoid.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you could recruit them, and you could attach them to someone that was of a higher rank than them. Mm-hmm. I rewatched the video too. After they announced it, some guy he went through, and he went and recruited every single captain to be a bodyguard of the main leader of the army. So when he went to go fight him, every single captain was there, and he killed everybody on the playing field. He had this move, he didn't even fight them. He had a move he just a special ability where he just killed everyone with a snap of his fist. With Thanos. Thanos snapped him right then and there. He killed
They were good games. They were good games. I've actually been thinking about going back and playing them myself.
Hey man, fun combat too, man. The sword play in that game was fun. Had good challenges too, man. Those were great games.
I would like to point out that we are reminiscing about a game that's 12 plus years old. Yeah, 15 years old. Yeah, that's when games were good.
Yeah.
You kids get your Ford off the lawn.
Yeah. I definitely had the games on PlayStation. They were definitely free on PlayStation at one point, so I have them through that. I think I bought Shadow of War too with all the DLCs.
Speaking of PlayStation, I thought this was hilarious. Dragon Age Veilguard did so bad. All right, let's put this in perspective first. PlayStation has 50 million PlayStation Plus subscribers worldwide. Their active player count for Dragon Age Origins went up by 1,000 when they made it a PlayStation Plus game.
Wow.
That's how bad that game was.
I mean, it only came out 3.5 months ago, and it is already a free game on PlayStation Plus.
And its player count didn't even go up by 2,000.
I mean, its sales probably went up because I definitely purchased it for $0.00. So they got a lot of copies moving. I probably would never download and install it, but.
So my understanding is that the gameplay is good, but everything around it is horrible. Same thing with Avowed.
Avowed?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been playing Avowed. I mean, yeah. It's good. Sometimes like the dialogue kind of gets kind of weird, like a little bit preachy, especially with like some races. I don't think Avowed is terrible.
Yeah, Avowed did a lot better
it's a decent
than
play.
Yeah, I heard the combat in Avowed is amazing.
Yeah, I do like the combat. I like the different weapons that you can do, the different things you can do.
Yeah.
It's pretty fun. I mean,
But
I didn't move fast enough in that game, so I still put a lot of time into it, but I didn't get hooked. You know, I was kind of like using it to pass the time until other things came out. Whereas like Veilguard, I didn't hear too many positive things. I just really heard the negatives. I think people might have said the gameplay was okay, but like the dialogue is just so forced. The dialogue is so forced and super preachy, and just trying to ram things down your throat so that people can ram things down your throat, literally. What?
But yeah. So Take-Two is jumping on the bandwagon of suing third-party currency sellers. So Take-Two is trying to get ahead of the curve.
Is this an article I posted? Because it's definitely one I did not read.
No.
Okay.
No, this is one that I found and added to the notes. So Take-Two is the guys behind Grand Theft Auto. And
hold on, you can't say it like that. That's vague. They're the parent company that owns Rockstar, sir.
Okay. And anyway, they're suing gold sellers because I guess they're trying to get ahead of the curve before and get these companies shut down before GTA 6 releases.
What do you mean gold sellers? People that they sell gold for Grand Theft Auto Online?
Yeah.
Okay, like they sell currency, like the in-game currency, or like gold for RDR2 Online.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know that was an option. Why would you even want to buy from them when you could just buy from this? Are they selling the currency at a lower cost?
Oh, usually.
What?
Usually, yeah.
So how are they getting their currency? Are they buying it from Rockstar, at MSRP?
No, they usually the way this works is they'll discover some sort of infinite money loophole, and then they'll sit there and farm it nonstop, spread it across a bunch of accounts, and then sell it.
Oh.
And they'll send it all to one burner account for you to purchase it from.
Oh, and then you just purchase the account.
No, you purchase the currency. They will hand it to you.
Oh, I guess you could can they drop it in game and you just pick it up?
Yeah.
Oh.
And I don't know if there's a trade in Grand Theft Auto Online or not. I don't know how that works for them. But this is, as long as there have been online games, this has been a thing.
Right. Yeah.
This has been a thing all the way back to EverQuest and Classic WoW. I mean, true Classic WoW, not the re-release of Classic WoW.
Yeah, I remember people they would boost online accounts, and then you just purchase the account from them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's
the fun in that? Doesn't matter.
And people just want to experience it being done instead of trying to get there.
Yeah.
I mean, the journey is the experience, not the finish line.
So most of the time it's just currency. 99% of the time it's currency. In-game items can be available if there's a trade network. I have purchased currency before, and it was mainly because I just didn't have the time to. I know. But it's because I didn't have time to actually go farm it myself, and something was holding me back, and so I've done it before. It's not a normal occurrence, but I have done it. Or something was so tedious that you didn't want to burn 40 hours doing it.
Right. I mean, I can't pretend like I haven't done stuff like that in games in the past.
But it's a thing. It's always been a thing. It will always be a thing. But yeah, so Take-Two is suing gold farmers, basically.
I mean, as they should.
Yeah. Like,
Makes sense.
there's nothing wrong with you trying to maintain a balance for your servers.
Mm-hmm. Keep the game fair for all.
Yeah. Or in the case of GTA Online, keeping it fair for your customers that give you money. Because as far as I'm aware, on GTA Online, you could buy current in-game currency from them directly.
Right.
But gold farmers typically do it cheaper.
Yeah. Also helps you from getting scammed. Because someone might be like, yeah, man, I'll give you all this gold. And you're like, all right, cool. Here's $1,000. Oh, well, $1,000 is a fucking lot. That's crazy for doing that.
Yeah. Typically, it's like $5.
Oh, I was thinking like, 50 to 100 or something. I guess depending on the amount. Anyway.
Depends on the amount, what game, how rare it is.
Yeah. You're like, here's $100, and they're like, all right, cool, I'm gonna drop the currency right now, and then they don't do it.
Yeah. All right, so this last one kind of has me a little excited for the future of this, but I have not heard word from Microsoft directly about this. I've just heard a lot of rumors about it from people who are in the know. So the next Xbox is not going to be a normal console. The way that they're going to do it and how they're getting around, and it's one of the reasons that they're giving PlayStation all of their exclusives, is because they are now going to have access to all of PlayStation exclusives. And it's going to, here's the loophole that they're doing, is the next Xbox that they create is going to be a gaming PC in a console style that's designed to run on televisions, that instead of just having access to Game Pass, it's also going to have Epic Games and Steam on it.
Okay. So you needed to add that in there, because all you were saying is just like you're just describing a console. You're like, it's going to be a PC in a case designed to run on a TV that will play games. So I'm just like, so it's going to be a console? It's just, all right, but now it has access to like PC applications like Steam and Epic, and it would have, like, I guess if Sony is able to, put the, I guess the PlayStation Store into an app that's accessible outside of a PlayStation
It's
OS.
also going to have its own Windows operating system.
Yeah. So like the Xbox dashboard.
Probably. So
But
it's going to be...
I get what you mean now.
Yeah.
It's going to be a console, but it's going to have, it's going to be, I guess, more customizable, like a PC where you can like install your own apps, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you can install your own apps
essentially,
now.
that's the understanding I'm getting.
A more versatile console with PC applications.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be very impressive.
Yeah. I mean, just the Steam store alone, as long as the games that are available can use a controller.
Yeah.
Which
Hopefully
most modern games can.
Yeah, hopefully they would, I don't want to say restricted enough. Hopefully they would filter it enough so that you're only accessing games, can see games, and buy games that would be compatible with the Xbox controller. Which, most games are.
Yeah.
It's different than like if you're using a DualSense controller or a DualShock. But
like I can install Spider-Man 2 from Steam and use my Xbox controller.
Yeah.
So it's like all the videos I've seen are just basically people ad-libbing that Xbox found a loophole to get all the PlayStation exclusives, since PlayStation has already said that they're planning on doing more PC releases.
That's the loophole because they're releasing their exclusives on PC and not Xbox. But if Xbox has access to PC, that's how they get the exclusives.
Which is why they're perfectly fine with. So their goal allegedly, this is just rumored and paraphrasing, but is to end the console war.
So I mean, I see a lot of positives to this, but I also see a lot of negatives.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Positives are you only have to buy one console. You might have to wait a while for the PlayStation exclusives, but
yeah, you have to wait a while. I mean, that's the negative. PlayStation can just be like, you know what? Maybe we're gonna stop bringing our exclusives to PC, or we'll just do it, in 4 years instead of the 2 to 3 that they seem to be doing now. I also see it with people if people are like, oh, I can either spend $700 for essentially a PC. I mean, that's what consoles are right now. They're easy plug and play computers, right? I mean, they're all computers. Easy plug and play way to play video games. And when people start realizing if I could actually build a PC, buy a PC, and get more performance out of it, because you're still buying a console, even though it's an Xbox that's more engineered to be more PC versatile. You're still buying a console that has restrictions on its performance.
Yeah, it can't be upgraded. It can't be. I mean, you might be able to expand the hard drive, but that'll be about all the limit of your capabilities as a consumer to do with it.
Yeah. Also, with that, I mean, what's to stop PlayStation doing the same exact thing? Because if you're doing that, from the way you described it to me and the way that I kind of see it happen, you're just buying an Xbox that just now has the Steam store on it and the capability of installing Steam-based games.
Yeah.
And so on and so forth. PlayStation can do the same thing. They can build a Steam app to access the Steam store and the Steam backend, and launch Steam style games.
They could,
which is also still saying a lot because sometimes Steam has you download another launcher, the Ubisoft launcher, the EA launcher, whatever, blah blah blah, to launch the game.
I mean, Microsoft still wants to put Game Pass on PlayStation, so.
Yeah, so if you do that, and especially now if you get Game Pass on PlayStation, I mean, in the end you can save money by not having to do research, development, and production of an Xbox console, and you can just make your money through Game Pass, and by having it run on PC and PlayStation, and then you can end the console wars that way by just dropping out of the race and just having your software.
Yeah.
Having your subscription.
What's interesting though is I could definitely see Microsoft doing this a lot easier than Steam could, or Sony could, is if Sony decided to copy this aspect and add a Steam app that you could install and play PC games and all that, I foresee Microsoft making Game Pass Access an app via Steam.
Say that again?
I could see Microsoft making Game Pass Access an app via Steam.
Oh, as in you pay your Xbox subscription through the Steam app?
That, and or you can install it via Steam.
Yeah, kind of like how if you have Amazon Prime Video, you can get Stars and Showtime and Max that way.
Yeah.
Use your Amazon Prime to get your subscription to those services.
Basically, yeah.
Definitely doable.
So, I mean, all kinds of backwards ways you can do that. But, yeah. Was there anything else interesting happening?
The thing is that if PlayStation does do that, PlayStation is kind of stingy about their controller right now. They're not releasing everything to developers. That's why a lot of Steam games are, still having, trouble of having full access to the controller to be able to it's not like using the Xbox controller. I'll say 99% of games on Steam, 99.9, you can use the Xbox controller for it, no problem. But there's only a handful that you can actually use a DualSense for.
Yeah.
Or even a DualShock, because PlayStation has been kind of stingy about the controllers and the drivers and everything that goes on within the controller and releasing that to developers to help them, Or, I mean, if they do give you access, it's a serious NDA that you gotta, use, sign. Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll rapid fire through a couple of things real quick. Before we call it. Oh, you did probably post an article about the Nemesis system.
I thought we had already talked about it. I thought we had already talked about the Nemesis system. I thought we had already talked about the KK thing.
We have not. We talked about it in Discord, not on the show.
Yeah, I know we texted about it, but I feel like we talked about it vocally. Maybe I was just having conversations with myself. I do that a lot.
Yeah, I think it's more that than anything. Like, let's see. Here's an article that you posted about Nvidia suppressing inventory levels. There's a conversation about KK.
Yeah.
Microsoft planning for a digital-only generation. Bunch of games are delaying till next year because of the window for GTA 5 or 6.
Mm-hmm.
There's an article that you posted about the Nemesis system, which I didn't see you post. We kind of both came to that. I was like, yeah, we're going to talk about this. The estimated cost to make GTA 6, I don't see it being that much. Maybe over the span of its life, but
that'd be nuts. Well, the span over its life, that's its cost. I mean, it depends on how much money. I don't see them spending.
I'm
that
talking
much.
about generationally, like as they take it from console to console, system to system, and how much money they eventually spend on
GTA.
Yeah,
the GTA franchise, and not just GTA 6.
I can see that being the total for GTA 6.
$1 billion.
Two. Estimated.
It's $2 billion. Estimated $2 billion to develop GTA 6.
Well, it says production cost, so I'm going to assume that that's the estimated plan for the coming years as well. On maintaining the servers and the employees to run it and all that.
I mean, I guess, but that's part of the production cost as is. When you're talking about production costs, how much it takes to make a game. Like when they made The Last of Us 2, that was like $200 million, which was fucking nuts. People thought that was a crazy amount of money. But yeah, you're thinking about that. That's the resources that it takes. Compute power, workstations being utilized, but also the salary of all the people that you're paying.
Yeah.
Whether they're doing quality
like
control,
GTA 5,
voice acting,
it says $200 million.
Or writing.
I don't think the original GTA 5 cost $200 million to make.
Right. So now, I think that it might have been $100 million. I feel like $100 million is probably appropriate for GTA 5.
Yeah, and then $100 million cost to maintain it. Yeah, I can see that.
I mean, there was a lot of production quality that went into making the story and everything, but GTA Online is just a cash cow.
Yeah, it's a cash cow, but it still takes money to operate it. I mean, even though you're making a profit off of it, you still have to, you still have your expenditure costs.
Yeah, but I mean, the initial cost just to get people in the door, with the story, because I mean, even if people are buying that game to play mostly online, everyone's still going to play the story, a little bit at least, just because it's GTA. I feel like that's one of the things that kind of draws people in, just being in that open world and just hearing the random characters just saying all the things that they say.
Yeah. But I mean, that's still you're paying those voice actors and that writing, and that still goes into the cost of the game, that $100 million, and that's also marketing too. The marketing advertisements that you got and everything. So now, I still say 100 million is probably appropriate for GTA 5 when you look at everything, what it costs them. And then even still, you're talking about like maintenance costs, developer costs, and server maintenance, online features, whatever, continuing development, maintaining operations. I would say that's still only like a handful of million in the decade, almost 2 decades the game's been alive, even as you're still paying developers and stuff. I wouldn't say it's another 100 million on top of that. No, I wouldn't say that. I'll give you 20 million. I'll give you 20 million. 120 million. But even so, even if it's 200 million, you're saying 200 million, 100 million to originally release the game, and then another 100 million to maintain it and continue to pay all your people in marketing, whatever, blah blah blah.
I mean, honestly, I'd give it 150 million just for base production. Because if GTA 4 cost 100 million to make.
Okay. So you're saying 250 million to make GTA 5 and maintain it for the 13 years it's been out.
Not 200. Sounds about right.
Okay.
I mean, we don't know the final numbers. Like, we're not in their, checkbook, so we don't know the final numbers, but that is the estimated public information.
So now you think that it costs $2 billion? No. $2 billion with a B to make GTA 6?
I'd say $1 billion. That's also probably going to be estimated cost to maintain for the servers for another 5 years. 5 to 10 years. As long as they don't
even if you're developing new technology, game-changing technology, literal new technology, you fucking invented teleporters to create this game, I still don't even think you're at $1 billion to make a fucking video game. That's...
Yeah. A
lot of money. I mean, even movies don't cost that much.
Except for Avatar. I was getting ready to say movies and shit, but apparently Avatar 2 and 2 and 3, because that's what I'm saying. Like James Cameron, he came up with I guess new technologies. Like he had to research and develop new technologies to make those movies.
You know what blows my mind is
it cost him $2 billion to make those 2 movies.
It costs 20 times the amount of money to make a movie that lasts an hour and a half than it does to make a video game, which is more enjoyable and can last hundreds of hours.
All right, that is a very fair point. And to make it, I was thinking that too, actually. I feel like, because you got to consider updates and things like that. I mean, kind of like what you were talking about before, extra manpower to keep the game going after its initial launch. Movies don't have to worry about that.
Right.
Once the movie's done, that's it. It's done. People can just watch it as many times as they want, and it'll be the same thing every time.
Yep. So yeah, something we were talking about in the before we went live was the Starship Troopers. They're talking about a reboot with the director of Neil Blomkamp, who is the director of District 9.
Oh, dude, you totally blew my mind. All right, cool. Sorry, go ahead.
That would be awesome to see that come back.
Yeah.
Dude, that'd be so dope. I'm also mad because Neil Blomkamp is gonna give us fucking Starship Troopers. I mean, it's gonna be awesome if he does it right. I mean, dude doesn't miss. Dude doesn't miss. You got District 9.
I've been wanting to read the books for Starship Troopers.
Elysium. What was it? Chappie. I didn't really like Chappie as much, but it's still a good fucking movie.
I think
dude does not miss.
I think Chappie would have been better without Diane Wood.
Who?
Yeah. That weird group that I don't even know what they are. Are they like a rap group or something?
They're whatever they feel like being.
Yeah, that's kind of what I got from it.
They were why I didn't really like that movie quite as much. But I mean,
dude, I didn't even know who those people were until I saw that movie. And actually, even when I saw the movie, I didn't realize that they were. I didn't realize that they were artists until I just saw some. Until I saw some random video on YouTube. I see just about everything on there. But it just randomly saw it on there. I was like, I had no idea who those people were. I just thought they were really weird actors, and I was like, well, they must not have been very good because I only saw them in this one movie.
There's a reason why you only saw him in the one movie.
Oh yeah, no, I understand now, but I didn't understand at the time.
Yeah, but like, he's gonna give us Starship Troopers before he gives us District 10. Dude, I'm waiting on District 10. I feel like it's coming up too, because I feel like he might have been doing one of those things where, like, because he was saying like how long it's going to take for the ship to go out and then come back. It was like 23 years. I feel like he's waiting for that. He's waiting for that fucking mark.
Maybe he's already made the movie and he's just waiting to release it.
I mean, that could be too.
But yeah, so that's what I got for today. Apparently Disney's going around buying up a bunch of shit, up to and including the rights to host Power Rangers and make a new Power Ranger show.
Well, I mean, they've ruined everything else. Why not that too?
Yeah. Well, they're trying to go back to their roots with some of their newer stuff, but at the same time, I'm like, I haven't cared about Power Rangers since, the original.
School.
Yeah.
It was only 3 years. You say he was going to return in 3 years. That's definitely been more than 3 years.
But all right, that's what I got for tonight. So thank y'all for coming and watching. I hope you had a good time. We'll see